Good evening, welcome to Macclesfield Town Council's Services Committee. We are coming to you from the new Town Council offices here at Park Green. It's also a bit of a delayed Services Committee meeting. 2 weeks ago, I don't know if you were aware, there was a small football match going on, so the meeting has been postponed to tonight so that people could watch it live or elsewhere. Pleased to say we've got Sue and I didn't catch your name.
My name's Rachel.
Sue and Rachel who are here to chat to us about Pride as well. So we'll head straight into the agenda. So item 1, apologies for absence.
Councillor McWarren.
Thank you. And item 2, any declarations of interest? Councillor Benedict.
Any other people sat over there? Any other people from Macclesfield Pride?
Thank you. Any other apologies? Declarations of interest? No, thank you. So we'll take item 6.1.1, Macclesfield 5, and there was a proposal. So, Sue, hand it over to you.
So thank you very much for inviting us here and for the continued support since Macclesfield Pride commenced in 2018. I hope some people had a chance to look at the report that we did, which showed how Macclesfield Pride is moving forward within the town and within the wider community, just on the outskirts now, to look at supporting people, social groups and the LGBTQ+ community. We've also given other people safe spaces so that they can be aware. So there are other people like Queer Collective and Yasbeen that they're also doing things which is absolutely fantastic, and we promote those services too. We have a regular social gathering in Macclesfield called Rainbow Brews. That's the 3rd Saturday of the month, and that's well attended. We also were approached by Poynton Civic Council and asked if we could do something for the community there. And so with good liaison, we're on our 4th one this weekend. We do the 1st Saturday, so people have got options, the 1st Saturday or a 3rd Saturday, Macclesfield or Poynton. We've also been approached by Ballington, so that's something on the cards as well, whether we can do something for Ballington as well. The grant that we get from Macclesfield Town Council goes a long way in helping us to look at the road closures, which last year was stepped up a great deal. Thanks to liaison from Abby and other people, we were able to get the same providers that they use for their events, and so it was quite useful to have that connection. But as you know, with everything, it all costs an awful lot more. We had a fundraising event on Saturday. Do you want to say a little bit about that, Rachel?
So that was one of our main fundraising events. It was fantastic, great turnout, everyone enjoyed it. We raised £585, which we've now been told will get matched by one of our supporters from their work, so their work's going to match that. So yeah, it was a really, really good event on Saturday.
So it's great that if we can be considered for a grant or an award from Macclesfield Town Council, but I just wanted to let people know that it's ongoing all year, so it's not just for one event in the year. We do have a picnic in the park as well, and that's mainly for the community, and we'll have a present, whereas on Mac Pride Day in July, it's about the LGBT community. Transcend, we've also been in touch with Body Positive. We've got a trans positive worker looking to set up a group and have a more substantial group for the trans community too. I'm happy to take questions from anybody. I mean, I can go on and talk about Pride all night because it's so wonderful at the moment when we have people coming through groups and thanking us and saying, you actually saved me life because I didn't know who to turn to. And we get private messages like that. That is something, if you can make one night, you know what I mean? And we have a core group of committee members, don't we, who are fully committed to that, and we have 4 trustees at the moment. But yeah, we're always looking to increase the funding. We have sponsorship packages. That's what I just needed to tell you about the bingo that we did. Because we were given an award from Legacy Funeral Care, we spent that money on the small businesses in Macclesfield, and we bought vouchers from those small businesses, because January, February is a difficult time for some small businesses. So people were able to get a £20 Baltic Kitchen voucher or a £12 Cherry Blossom voucher. They were all vouchers, and we used them for prizes. So not only are we use the money effectively to promote small businesses again, and people will go to those small businesses, see them and add money to it. So people have already said to us, if you're having a raffle, we'll donate again, so it works again come July. We're always looking at new ways to help fund ourselves, but the council, you know, Macclesfield Town Council, it goes a long way to helping to be the core amount for us.
So the amount you requested is £3,000.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions? Councillor Billy.
Yeah, a couple of things. I need to declare that I was at the flip-flop bingo, and I did win a prize, a line for Crafty Corner and Dine's deli, which is we'll spend more than £10 on one, definitely. And also Stella runs the Rainbow Brews in Macclesfield. I'll tell you the backstory another time, it'll take too long. I would like to ask a couple of questions. Given the controversy last year, how will you ensure that no political party will use Pride to promote themselves?
Yeah, there was awful confusion last year, and it was miscommunication, not from us, but from other political parties who I felt were using our cause. Without us knowing, most definitely, it was only thanks to, I think it was James had raised it with me. And once we did know about it, that's when we took action about it. So what we did from that time, we asked the trustees to look at the Constitution and look at introducing something within the Constitution that says very clearly that we will not be working alongside any political party. We want that to be, as we said to the Charity Commission when we were asked about, you know, are we doing this? And we said very clearly, no, we're not in line with any political party. But we wanted to make sure that we're completely neutral, and we want to make sure that anybody joining us is completely neutral within the committee and within the trustee. So that's now within the Constitution, and that was passed at the AGM in November this last time.
Yeah, because you need to be really careful, because there was a by-election coming up and the Greens were at Party in the Park, and then they were advertising on leaflets. They were the only political party at Pride, and they even got the date wrong.
Yeah.
So you really do need to be very careful. I'm glad you changed the Constitution. And the other thing I would say that you need to do as an organisation is ensure that all your allies are welcome, regardless of their political colours. You either invite everyone or nobody, and I think that's a big lesson to be learned.
Yeah. I think it is, and with respect, Sarah, as soon as we knew about the Green Party using us, we wrote very clearly to, I think how much I know that the person who is the Green candidate, and we wrote very clearly and said that we were unhappy with that. I got those emails, and they responded and said they would readdress that within the next leaflet. So it is about us being aware. We can't do anything if other people do something behind our backs that we know nothing of. We can't do anything about that. But I do think we were used. They've not asked us to be part of any leaflet.
Yeah, with all due respect though, you did let the Greens have a table at the Party in the Park, and you were informed about that, but you know, as you say, you've changed the Constitution.
Yeah.
Because the Town Council, regardless of its political colours, can only fund organisations that are apolitical, if you like. So that's just really important to any other organisations that are listening, or any other political parties who want to hijack an event.
Yeah. I completely understand that, and again, at the picnic in the park, every political party was asked And
No,
on
he
general
is.
quote, we didn't go to every party and ask them to participate. We put out a general inquiry that if anybody wants to have a table, then they can. So the Labour Party or Conservative Party, Independent, could have had a stall at that committee, at that picnic in the park. And that, we've got the evidence to support that. There was only one political party who asked to do that, and that was the Green Party.
Just like to move on from...
Okay, yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, I'm not really satisfied with that answer, but we'll leave it there.
Okay. Any other questions for McBride?
Just to make it
Oh.
clear, if awarded, we would write that into the SLA as well, because there's an issue, is a charity. Charities can't be shown to show any political favouritism either, so it comes under the Charity Commission too. So just to assure you, if it was awarded, we make sure that's written in.
So there's a proposal, considered funding for the McBride of £3,000. Anybody like to propose that? Councillor Livingston, second it. Councillor Barbara Chadwick. So to vote, all those in favour? It's unanimous, carried. Thank you very much.
Are we free to go?
You're more than welcome to.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Somebody should have said, surely just do.
Okay. Agenda item 3 services. The minutes of the Services Committee meeting held on the 1st of December 2025 and these to be approved. Do I have a proposer for those?
Yes, I'm a big croaky, but I'll do that.
Councillor Wilson, thank you very much. And a seconder? Councillor Benedict, thank you. All those in favour? Councillor Barbara Chadwick, you weren't at the meeting. Abstain, thank you very much. So there you know, Mr. Carrick. Any matters arising from the minutes of the previous Services Committee? No? Okay, item 5, community. 5.1, community engagement update. Assistant Town Clerk.
So we're doing really well for volunteers at the moment. We've got 28, but as of today, 29. A new person joining us today. We did a bit of a recruitment drive just after Christmas about setting New Year's resolutions and if people wanted to volunteer. And that's been proven to be quite productive. So we've had lots of inquiries, and this lady that's joined us today is the first one that's been through the whole process since Christmas, which is great. Abby and Rachel attended the volunteering fair because I was on annual leave, so they went along. The one that was at the town hall, organised by the Department of Work and Pensions, and there was quite a few inquiries that came out of that as well, so that was good. So I've been to the Macclesfield Partnership meeting in January, and I think there's another one coming up very soon. So basically all the issues, and a lot of councillors go, I think you were there as well, Sarah, I think. So lots of local issues are discussed at these meetings. It's a chance for people to get together and make contacts. And one of the things that came out of it was that the Salvation Army have been hosting a community meal on the third Sunday of each month, and 70 people went to the first one, and from what I've heard it's just growing and growing in popularity, so much so that they're going to put on an extra one a month, so they're looking at that, which is great. And the Care Community Core Group, I did send an email round, have invited councillors to attend their sessions, but I'm aware that Cheshire East councillors are invited as well as part of their role, so that's just another way of finding out what's going on locally, and that's more sort of the medical side of things. There's representatives from social prescribing and GP surgeries. It's that sort of makeup of the meeting. Oh yeah, just one last thing to say on community engagement. We're going to hold a community grants drop-in session. Now we've got our new premises, we're going to hold it here. It's a chance for people to just come along and have a chat with us to see if they can apply for a grant and just sound out ideas and get a bit of help for them informed. So we're hoping to do that in April.
I think the grant drop-in is fantastic. Obviously being on the Finance Committee, seeing the amount of community groups that come to us for grants, and if we were able to extend that and help even more groups within Macclesfield, I think that's a fantastic idea. Also again, volunteers, it's great that we've got so many numbers, and hopefully more to come from the drop-in as well. Again, I'd just like to pass on our thanks to the volunteers who work hard setting up at the events themselves and also playing them. Any comments or questions? Councillor Benedict.
Yeah, just to say how proud I am of the officer recruitment and the volunteers for giving up their time to help the town council and the community during events. I'm so pleased to hear the Salvation Army have been holding a meal. Holy Trinity Church also do something similar, and we're aiming to do, with the help of my ward budget, do something similar as well in the week. So loneliness and socialisation is literally a killer. On my ward, if you look at the Tartan Rug, has the biggest number of, or one of the biggest numbers of people over 65 living alone. And it's really hard for people to get out. So, you know, what I would say to people, if you are going to a town council event and you've got a neighbour or an elderly aunt or someone, bring them with you on the free bus and look at all these other events that are going on and join in, take part, volunteer. Thank you.
Thank you. So moving on, 5.2 CVS CE. Yeah.
So I'll just pick out a few highlights from their report that they've provided. So they continue to support us with reviewing our grant applications, and they give us some really great advice on those. And they support the applicants beyond the award of the grant as well, so it doesn't just end when they get the grant from us, they continue to help them become sustainable and look at other funding streams. They've been helping the Hope Centre with their strategy and their mission. And also I just wanted to pick out the Potential Brood organisation that they've been supporting. So that connection came out of one of the Macclesfield Partnership meetings. So they were looking for, they support needs into employment, and they were looking for a space. They've got all the ideas, they were just looking for a space to hire. And all of the ideas that came back, the guy from Potential Brood was just overwhelmed. He was like, I can't believe like all this support that's out there, and he's making loads of connections. So it just goes to show how worthwhile those meetings are really. But yeah, so CVS continue to be a great support on those aspects.
Thank you very much. Again, fantastic report from CVS. It's great that they're able to help, not just the initial stages, but going through with additional needs as well. So, yes. Any other comments, questions? No. So item 6, local service delivery. 6.1 are events updates. In absence of the events officer.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'll pick out some highlights on behalf of the events officer. So just really to say, to start off with the footfall figures are in the report, but as you can see, it's increased on every event. It's fantastic, and Laura, I think you sent some figures through last week, didn't you? It's doing
Yes.
compared to the national picture.
Nationally, we are 7.7% up year to date. So we are 7.7% up year to date, and I believe UK as a whole is down 1.3. So it's definitely good figures, and the events you can pretty much guarantee if there's an event on, there will be an uplift in footfall. So, which is what we aim for.
Yeah, so that's a really great start. Going back to the Christmas event, it seems like a really long time ago. But they were really well attended, as you can see by the footfall. There was a really varied programme. Step into Christmas, it was a little bit wet at the start of the day, but people came out, especially towards the end, it got busier, didn't it? Twilight Market is always a huge hit. So it's amazing, like you get a freezing cold day and all these people come out, and it's such a lovely event. And we also did bauble making this year on behalf of the Mayor's Charity, which was a great success as well. Lantern Parade was overwhelmingly attended. It was so busy. So we'll have to look at next year what we do for that, because it was unprecedented, the response from the public. So, which is great, but equally we have to make sure we're doing the right things for that amount of people in such a short space of time. TA was really, really well attended. And the volunteers did a grand job. They stayed on extra time to help out, so which was great. And then Lunar New Year, which was just a couple of weeks ago. So the starting point of the parade had to be changed this year because it was Valentine's Day and there were quite a few weddings on at the town hall. So we moved the start of the parade to Castle Street, which actually works really well. So it gives us a good plan B option for the future. So we know we've got that other alternative. Yeah, really well attended. We haven't got the footfall figures for that, but I know there was an increase.
I'm pretty much tell you what that.
Is it?
Last year it was 10,437 or something, and this year it was 10,328, which, considering we'd moved the start point and away from the footfall counter, just shows that everyone, once they've been to the event and then coming back, will be into town afterwards as well. So.
Yes. So 1261 is going to be back on the 20th of June. And last year, one of the highlights was something we introduced was the community funding. So we were offering groups up to £250 to put an activity on that aligned with the aims of the festival, and just really expanded the offer of the day. So we're doing that again, and it's out now. People can apply. The deadline is the 27th of March. So it doesn't have to just be town centre. So if anyone in our wards thinks of anything, anyone that would like to apply, or any groups, please encourage them to do so. If they want a bit of a chat about how to go about it, they can speak to myself or Rachel or Abby. So yeah, please encourage them to do that. Yeah, that's it.
Just a quick question in relation to the grant for the 1261. You mentioned about the people on the wards. Is this to hold some event on the ward or in town?
Yeah, so we can expand it across the town. It has to be on that day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so because it'll go in the programme, and there's a strict deadline for providing artwork and information, that sort of thing. But yeah, we're trying to expand it across as far and wide as we can.
Yeah, no,
And with the free buses as well, it means that people can come into town, but then they can head back out regardless of where they live. They can head to a different part of town to take part in an event.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant. Again, football figures. I think it shows that the events that we are putting on, and the regular events year on year, such as Christmas, the Twilights, as you said, is a massive hit, the Lantern Festival. It goes to show that people are picking up on not the repetitiveness of the events, but the fact that they're on every year, realising that there's free transport. It's kudos to not just Rachel, but the whole town council staff for the work that goes on in the events. Anybody else? Oh, sorry, just one other thing I'd like to mention is I didn't make it to the Twilight Market, but I think the idea of having the musicians from Worley Choir up to some of the other musicians was a great idea, encouraging people to stay and listen. And yeah, any other comments or questions? Councillor Benawake?
Just to say that the football figures are brilliant, and they're all in my diary a year in advance. And
What, the
if you
football
haven't-
figures?
not the football figures, the events. But you know, if you haven't been to one of our events, please go. I particularly enjoyed the Lantern Festival, and Abby made us go on the merry-go-round, which was embarrassing, but it was great fun. Yeah, it was really good. I enjoyed it, and it does not lift your spirits in the dark depths of winter. So thank you very much.
Thank you. 6.2 festoons.
Yeah, so the festoons that have been installed on Chestergate have still not been formally handed over to us, so still no progress with that. And just to make people aware, we're having to have the lights removed from the trees outside Gales because there's some essential works that needs to be take place. So the electricity company are going to pay for them to be taken down and then to be put back up at a later date. But that work, yeah, I think it's April. We're still waiting for the 100% final date, but it's April, looking like.
Glad to hear that the electricity company are going to pay for the removal and the reinstallation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other comments? No. Oops, Councillor
Sorry,
Knight.
just to ask, do we know what the issue is with the things haven't been handed over yet from Cheshire East?
I think it's the legal issues,
Yeah.
the information, the receipts and things.
Yeah, so basically Macon Fort, we'd agreed in principle that we would maintain it all. We haven't had anything from Cheshire East Legal. So at the moment it is still, they are still Cheshire East assets. So for instance, the planter outside Gales, the big planter outside
Yeah.
Gales has to be moved as well. And Cheshire East have to, that's a Cheshire East asset, so they have to organise
see.
that.
Is there someone we could give a nudge?
If
You
only,
can talk to me outside
Yeah.
the meeting.
if only we had some Cheshire East councillors that been
Oh yeah, that's it.
No comments about festivals. Okay. 6.3 Christmas lights.
So the Christmas tree, we've had a new insert installed into the tree pit because it will increase the stability of the tree, because the pit is designed for a humongous tree. I mean, the trees we have are big anyway, and the trees we've had in the past, but so it's too big. So we took advice and that was installed on Friday actually, so that work's now complete. Because the tree did very well, because the day after it went up, we had those terrible storms. So it did lean slightly, and they came out, they're great, they straightened it as best as they could, and it was stable, but it obviously aesthetically didn't look completely straight. So they recommended this work take place, and that's all done now, so hopefully this year will be much better. And then just to say about the Christmas lights, so as you know, we've had a lot of difficulty with the electricity supplies, especially on Mill Street. So that was a real challenge for us last Christmas. So it's been recommended that we have our own feeder pillars. So we have our own dedicated electricity supply on Mill Street. So we don't have to use anyone else's. It will be ours. It will be for the Christmas lights. We'll know it's safe, up to standard, and it's okay. That work, we've been chasing, and we've had a meeting. Myself and Laura had a meeting with Cheshire East Street Lighting and their lighting designer. Because the lighting designer doesn't just like design the nice looking lights, they design all the electrics that go behind the scenes to provide the lights. So that's what we've said. What's my paper now? Is it on? Sorry about this. Here we are. Okay. So we're asking the committee to formally approve the cost of the lighting designer fees. There will be further costs to this. This is going to be an expensive project, but we're not going to be able to operate the Christmas lights without it. And speaking to other town councils and city councils, this is the route they're all having to go down now, and it'll just make it so much easier. So it's been approved via email, so we've started the process of organising the site visit, so we can progress that. We didn't want to waste any time because of past experiences. We want to get it done as soon as we can. So we're just asking to formally approve the quote of £3,448 for the lighting design services.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's if you've taken advice from other parish councils, city councils, that this is best for ourselves, I think it's the correct decision, because we have control of our own lighting supply to negate any issues that we had from last year especially. Any comments or questions? No? So the proposal is for £3,448 to provide lighting design services for the Mill Street festive lighting improvement works. Sorry.
Just before, it's probably going to cost 20 grand all in, roughly, approximately. But if you don't do it, you won't have any lights on Mill Street, because I think the Macon Foot project highlighted how not great the electrics were, and so they've upgraded without considering the town council. So just want to prepare you that there's a big expense coming now. Sorry.
That's got to be.
Have we got 20 grand to cover it?
Yes.
That's all I need to know.
Yes, yes, it'll come out of the public realm budget.
Well, I mean, as I say, it's one of those where if it's something that we need to make sure that things go ahead
Yeah.
in future years. To me, I mean, I'm not making the decision myself, but it seems a no-brainer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Councillor Wilson.
Yeah, I'd like to move the proposal that we formally approve the quota 344 rate. It is plus VAT, so we can reflect that in the minutes.
Yeah.
I just want to very briefly speak. I'm not massively well travelled, but the places I've been to, including Regent Street in London, I have to say that our lights are still, but in my opinion, are still better than that. I think we've done a great job on the lights, and the only issues we've had have been the failure of the electricity supply, which is very disappointing because, of course, although this will cost money to put in feeder pillars and installations, it's the lights are a cost, and if we can't use them, we're losing out there. So I'm very happy to move this particular proposal, but I think we do know that we will have to expend more funds and that we do have those funds available. Thank you.
So, proposal by Councillor Wilson, a seconder. Councillor Bellywake. So I'll take that to the vote. All those in favour? So carried. Thank you. Item 7, leisure and outdoor activities. 7.1, parks and play areas.
Yeah, so I think it's just the update, isn't it? There'll be a further update on full council next week. But Tippington is complete. The two parks that came in £2,000 under budget. So, and we get that back, well, we don't pay that. And then we've got the showstopper at West Park, which we've funded half of. That's still in the planning phase, but it's still with planning, but there is no issues anticipated. So once that's got its planning permission, they'll get the equipment ordered, and the timescales are on there. I think we'll pay for half of it this year, and possibly half next year. And then South Park, we've just decided on the Dragonplay, the contractor. So we've just decided on the contractor for South Park's play equipment, which has a nice area for kids to chat, a little seated area, which is quite nice. I've got a feeling it might be pink, so it could be the girls to chat, but they're really nice. They did a good job of this, Cheshire East. There was some good procurement to choose from, so that's all the updates. And then on full council, you will have a whole report of what you could look at for next year.
Thank you very much. Just want I'll bring Councillor Wilson for a second. Do you know how long or when the planning permission may be granted? Is there a timescale for that?
The date of which it should have been granted has passed.
Right.
So our Cheshire East, Ed Yoxall is brilliant. He's chasing it, he's on it. So hopefully he hopes it will all be done for summer. It'll all be in there for summer.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Is this for the Dragonplay?
This is the
West Park.
Park's showstopper.
Okay.
And then South Park, that'll all have been ordered. So hopefully, Councillor Wilson, that should be around then too, hopefully. But the feedback we've had from Tippington is really positive actually, from residents in Tippington. And there was a little picture, I don't know if you saw them there, in the little shop. There's a little shop.
Yes.
So that was really cute, and the kids are liking it, and so it's been really good feedback actually, which is great.
Councillor Wilson.
Yeah, I think we're making really good progress with the investment we're making in play areas, both in the smaller parks and the larger parks, and I think that's really key for young people and children and their families to be able to enjoy those. The reason I put my hand up was that in the big master plan for the park, for South Park, which is very detailed and is going to run for some considerable time, there was a very specific identified project for a girls' separate zone and play area. So I'm really glad we've been able to deliver that through the Dragonplay. Sounds really exciting.
Yeah.
Thank you. Comments? No. 7.2 South Park Pavilion.
We're in the
Somebody.
pre-construction phase, going out to tender soon. And there'll be a full update on full council, clearer update on full council. Where we're up to.
So we're going out to tender, there's some detailed design to be finished before it goes. We still need a lease and licence in Cheshire East to be concluded. And
Still.
also- Yes. And we need the planning conditions discharged as well. Particularly there's a matter about drainage needs to be resolved. So yes, making progress, but there's a fair amount to do by the end of the day.
We have the lease, we have the licence to work, it just needs worked on, and sending it back through solicitors is slow, and then getting it back again, but it's getting there.
It sounds the same message, but a little bit more positive.
Because everything has to fit in a certain timescale now.
That's right. Any other comments or questions? No. Again, I suppose we will hear more about that at full council next week, so look forward for that. 7.3 Playing Out.
So Playing Out is actually sort of the brainchild of an organisation, a CIC, that wanted to promote children's outdoor play. So they were the driving force behind the project, and they are actually closing at the end of March. That's after 16 years. They want to focus on campaigning and policy change and go back to their roots. That's the choice that they've made. I don't think it would affect us too much if we wanted to do things in the future, because the template is now there. However, our sort of biggest obstacle now, if we wanted to do these sessions, is the introduction of Martin's Law, which obviously is a good thing. It's designed to keep people safe, but it's a big consideration because no longer can we rely on volunteers to close roads because of the safety implications. We've got to think about, we'd have to use a professional road closure company, which is what we did with Create last year, because they use vehicles and things like that, and it all has to be done the same way. Martin's Law will come in properly, I think it's April next year. We don't know fully the extent of what it will involve, and at this stage there's sort of not no point, but it would be silly to have a sort of a training course on Martin's Law because the law hasn't been fully defined. So when it's fully defined, we'll have more sort of idea of what it's going to require, but it will definitely affect Playing Out in the respect that we'll need to use a professional road closure company, which comes at a cost.
Yeah.
So it's just a consideration.
Any other comments, questions? No. Again, it's one of those where I suppose we'll know more as time goes on in relation to that. Okay, thank you. 7.4 allotments.
Really, it's just lots of work on trees that's been taking place. So we mentioned at the last services committee that we're going to conduct a survey of all of our trees. Well, that's now taken place, that's happened. And reassuringly, there were only actually 3 trees that needed work, and 2 of those trees are not on our land anyway. We sort of had to do some work to identify who the landowner is. We've still not concluded that, but it doesn't belong to us, but we still feel a duty of care to do what we can to try and find the owner. So there's a bit of work that needs doing at the Birdwood Road tree. That's booked in for the next 6 weeks. I think that'll take place then. The tree that we have at the Birdwood Road site that has the TPO in it, we had the planning permission, and we spoke to the tree company, and the tree company came back and were concerned. They said, because they care about the tree, they won't just come in and just chop away at it unnecessarily. They were concerned that we'd been asked to do this work and the amount of work it's going to involve, that they're going to have a cherry picker, go on someone's garden, that sort of thing. But really the long-term health of the tree. So I've spoken to the tree planning lady from Cheshire East, who is brilliant, and she's going to come out again and re-inspect it in July and just see if it's suffering from ash dieback or not. Because if we can save the tree, great, but if it's a safety issue, then we might have to look at felling the tree completely. So it's a huge tree, massive. And there's some issues with the transfer, isn't there?
There's a few issues around allotments, transfers. We had a particularly difficult one around South Park that is Peats and Plains have it. It got wrongly transferred to Peats and Plains many years ago. But Peats and Plains, I believe, have stepped up and paid for the tree that fell in South Park to be, which is great. But ultimately, Peats and Plains have to transfer it back to Cheshire East, and they have to transfer it to us as it should have been. So that there is, to be fair, there is a number of things that are landing down at assets and legal with Cheshire East that need to be worked through. And so it's just, you know.
I also suspect that there will be no additional cost to ourselves.
No.
Transfers.
I mean, the thing is, as you know, Councillor Wilson and I discussed it, it should have been transferred to us. So in the sense that, okay, it's not, it's good that Peats and Plains stepped in,
Yeah.
but ultimately, if it had gone to plan, we would have been taking care of this allotment, and we want those allotment holders to be taken care of. So I think you were going to pay it out of water budget, or we're going to look at that if they haven't, we would have helped them. But there is a few difficulties down in getting these transfers sorted and correct.
Yeah, it's a classic situation with the Spark allotments that have been reported in the pack that then we go back a number of years now. This is when the assets for the housing assets were transferred from Macclesfield Borough Council.
2005, I think.
The allotments were transferred to Peaks and Plains when they should have been transferred to ourselves, the town council, but to resolve the situation which didn't exist at the time. So it is part of the problem. The town councils have the responsibility generally for allotments, but we were in a bit of an interregnum at that stage. I think the South Park allotment, people are really very pleased with the support they've had. But it goes to show when trees fall, the tree had fallen entirely over the Spark allotments and in some gardens on Maple Avenue, although that wasn't too, well, it was full of people's gardens, but it hadn't caused specific damage that I'm aware of. But the mess it had made of the allotments and the fence, and it had fallen from somebody else's land altogether. So I'm very keen that we do get this sorted out and that we do work to bring the allotments into where they should be with the town council. I've had an email from, I did go to have a look for myself, I've been keeping a very close eye on it, Chair, and I've had a really lovely email from the letting secretary there to thank us and me and the town council for the work we've done to sort it out, and asking to talk to us about, you know, some further developments, because it's completely crushed their communal activity area where they will get together to you know, have events I've been to where they do apple pressings and things like that. So something I think we need to talk about separately. But it was quite a trip to sort it out. But I think everyone pulled together, and thank you to the town hall team, and also to both Peaks and Plains and Cheshire East, because we got them in the end.
Yeah. Thank you. Any other questions or comments? No. Okay. So 7.5 street sports.
So yeah, continues to be popular. The numbers did drop off slightly for the Thursday. I think it's the weather, because most of the children that attend go on by bike. That's how they get there. So or on foot. Not many of them get dropped off in cars. So I think it's the weather that's responsible for that. So it'd be interesting to see how that trend changes. But we are looking to extend the contract with Macclesfield Community Sports Trust. We've had a 2-year contract with them, with the potential to extend for a further year. And if we would like the committee to consider extending that for that year, because they're doing a really great job. They're building a great relationship with the children, and we don't see any reason to change that and go out and invite quotes from other companies at the moment. So we'd like to extend for another year. I'd like to consider that.
Is there a cost to this? Because I don't see one in the papers.
It will be, sorry, that's my fault for not including it, but it will be a continuation of the same contract, so it will be the exact same costs. So it will just be a continuation.
Okay. Any comments or questions in relation to street sports?
No.
No. So there is a proposal considering or to consider extending contracts for the Community Sports Trust.
Happy to propose.
Thank you, Councillor Livingston. And a seconder?
Yes.
Okay, I'll say that to the vote. All those in favour of extending the street sports? It's unanimously carried, thank you. 7.6 Park Fit.
Yeah, so we're trying to work towards a new provider. It's not working out the way we'd hoped. We've not got anybody in place yet. So we're considering different options about different providers. I don't want to say too much about naming providers and things, but we're looking at different ways that we could do it. It's still very much, we've not forgotten about it. We're aware that with the spring coming up, people are going to want those sessions. So we're going to do everything we can to bring someone in to do that.
So the disappointment Councillor Livingston's face that Park Fit is still paused.
Breathing it go. Slowly.
Obviously, it's one of those where we just wait for the right fit, I suppose. Until that happens, it's potentially still be paused. So yeah, thank you very much for working on this and continue working in the future. Any other comments? No. Okay. 7.7 Fitness for the Future.
Yeah, so not really much to say other than the numbers continue to be steady. Obviously, in the last report we had quite a lot of feedback, which was really interesting to read. But yeah, continues carrying on.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic to see strong numbers. Again, there are dips here and there, but steady across the board. Councillor Wake.
Yeah, can I just ask, the walking football, is that for men and women?
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
it? Yeah.
yeah, it's for everyone, yeah.
So someone was asking me about it.
Yeah, yeah, anybody can go.
I was going to say, you're not going to get your boots on, are you?
Go in the gym tomorrow.
We're all inspired by Maxfield Football Club.
Any other comments or questions? No, thank you. 7.8 Visitor Guide.
So, as I'm sure everyone's aware, for many years we've had the Heritage Trail, which was given out in the Visitor Information Centre and was actually really popular. The issue was we didn't own the rights to it, so we couldn't, some of the information became outdated and we weren't able to change it. We didn't have an editable format, so we need to create a document that we do have control over, that we can edit. So we put out an invitation for people to send their submissions in, and we received 15. So we went through them and we chose Charlotte's submission, which is attached here in the documents. And she's included some drawings within her submission that we really liked. So we asked her if she could include those within the cost of the document. So the cost is £4,205, and Charlotte will work to source the information. She actually works at the Silk Museum. She works at doing all the archiving. She's already got an excellent base knowledge to do this document. She will put all the information together. She'll do some drawings, and then we'll get a designer. Potentially, we might be able to do it ourselves, but we might need to get a designer to just finesse it all and get it all into a document that we can edit in the future and keep on top of. So we're asking the committee to consider a proposal of £4,205 for that document.
Just looking through the documents as it is in front of us, I think it's fantastic. It's also handy, I'd say, for us to be able to have a document that we own, that we can update as time goes on, including other useful bits of information. Any other Comments or questions?
There were quite a few people submitted examples of what they did. Yeah, there were quite a few.
15.
15, yeah, sorry. Yeah, because there's a couple of mistakes in this.
Is there?
Yeah, there is. I've marked it at lunchtime. With my red pen. So there are a couple of mistakes, but I gather it's a draft. Is this the normal cost of something like this? Have we got anything to sort of compare it with?
I think it's quite reasonable. I think the costs were varied, very varied, from quite cheap, which is also a worry, to a bit more expensive. I think the thing that's pushed the price up of this is that we've asked her to add the sketches,
Yeah.
but because her sketches were so lovely that we felt that that would actually add to it, and that she was willing to do that, and we kind of have the intellectual property, if you like, because one of the issues with the Heritage Trail is nobody knows who owns it, and so therefore everybody thinks they own it. So we want something that's Mac Town Council's, that we could, and the idea is this will go in the library, because our partnership with the library is going very well, and this is one of the things that they came and said if you could do this, or we were looking at. So I think it's reasonable. There was 15 more. Absolutely it will be proofread, hopefully by proofreader extraordinaire, Councillor Wilson, before it is sent to print. But the good thing is this can go online. This can be a live document. We can print it when we want. So, yeah, I think it's quite reasonable for that level of ownership for us. And very unique.
Inclusive of the Town Council logo.
Yes, absolutely.
Sorry, just one more question. So with the copyright, would it be, are we paying then for the copyright of it, or will that go to Charles?
It will be ours,
Yeah.
and what we'll do is like we did a museum in the street, if there's anything we use that she puts in it that is somebody else's copyright, we would
Yeah.
have to get that,
So
so
it's
she will
gonna
have
be-
to, yeah. But a lot of it is
Yeah.
sort of National Archives that when we did Museum on the Street, a lot of it you could get for free, and then you
Yeah.
try to get it if you need it, so yeah, she will do all that, and it will be ours, yeah.
So there is an action so to approve the cost of sourcing and writing information, as well as providing sketches for the new visitor guide for the town, £4,205. We'll propose for that.
I'll propose it, but does it include VAT?
No, I think it
She's
won't,
not
won't
gonna-
charge VAT.
No, it's just that if it does, it doesn't need to know because
No.
it's 20%.
No, it doesn't. Not this one, no.
Thank you. Proposed by Councillor Wilson, seconder. Councillor Livingston, thank you. All those in favour? Unanimously carried, thank you very much. Item 8, street scene. So item 8.1, public realm. It's somebody.
I can start, if that's all right.
Yeah, thank you.
So just to say about the mural that we're hoping to do on the side of the O2 building on Castle Street. So we were waiting for them to resolve their lease issues. They've been resolved, so it's making progress now, which is fantastic. So they emailed me today just to ask about if they can have just a site of the designs. So what will happen now is we need to just iron it out with O2 completely, and then speak to their landlord, just get all that sorted, and then we will invite people to send designs into us and costs. And then, yeah, they just want to have a side of the design, the branding team on site, so it's making progress now.
Yeah, cool. Sounds good for that. Town clerk, are you gonna?
Yeah, just the Macon, just saying the Macon Foot project hasn't been formally handed over. So it still remains the responsibility of Cheshire East. Part of the reason I've put it in is that historically it's there, because it can get really confusing in years to come if people aren't around or people don't remember. So when it's transferred, it'll also say it's ours. So at the moment it's not. And then also it just includes a bit about the indoor market that has been transformed, which Cheshire East region have done a great job, I would say, and myself and Councillor Wilson and Comms Officer were there at the opening, and it's looking very good. The traders seem very happy, so I would encourage anyone to go.
Councillor Wilson.
When you finish it.
Yeah, all I was going to say is, I mean, I've seen the post from Macclesfield Market Hall,
Trade Association, yeah.
and the outpouring that's come from that, the comments, it's from the traders, from people of the general public, it's fantastic. It looks brighter, it looks more inviting, it doesn't look dingy and dark as it used to do, so all the better for it. And I did ask the town clerk who the person in the chain was on the photograph, and I didn't recognise them.
Yes, it was the president.
It's the president of the Traders,
Yeah.
the Market Traders Association.
Yeah.
Bit of a coup, that's his thing. Councillor Wilson.
I just wanted to add to the positive comments that we made about this project, because there's so many things I like about the new market hall. It's just amazing. I mean, the Makers Market that's in there, where people can come along and have a shelf or two to sell their own homemade products. It's so brilliant. It was something I wanted to do when I was mayor, but we couldn't find the funds to find the location. And I think the food at the marketplace in there is really brilliant. You know, I always go there to get something to eat now, because whoever you're with and whatever you're doing, there's something for everybody, and you can grab some food and sit down and sit with other people. The mural, the mural is amazing, and I have to say that finally I want to sort of give a big thanks to everybody, because the Cheshire East Council press release historically included a mention of the town council's involvement in paying for the toilets, which was a coup.
Yes.
On my behalf. No, I was very pleased about that, because it's very important that when town councils and the Cheshire East Council work together across the borough, that appropriate recognition is given, and it was.
Councillor Wilson, Councillor Conway.
I agree with Councillor Wilson. I think the other thing is, I think we should commend the Cheshire East Regeneration staff. That was not an easy thing to pull
I
off.
completely agree with you.
I think they did a fantastic job. It's
Yes.
very creative, the design. I was in on Saturday, it was buzzing, the place is buzzing. And that's not what you would have said 5 years ago.
Just to really echo what everyone said, and having visited other markets over the Christmas period, and more recently in Salford and Chester, different places across the country that do like a good market, that it's comparable, if not better. I would say that, but the food smells delicious. So there's something, like you said, there's something for everyone, there's something for everyone's pocket. So, you know, if you can afford to go to the Picture Drone, that's Grace or one of the other eateries in town. But, you know, you can go in there, sit communal, have a chat. You don't have to be on your own. It's good for everybody.
Yes, and I just like to echo the point that Councillor Livingston's made, and also the town clerk. The team in the regen group at Cheshire East Council were phenomenal. That was the thing that I was really worried was going to come together, that they would bring forward contracts that everyone's on the same fair basis, paying the same for the stalls, all the sorts of like technical contracty issues. That really did look at the start of it all to be being quite a challenge, and I think that officers at Cheshire East have really delivered on that, with our support, of course. Yes.
Thank you. Moving on, 8.2, Town Range.
Yeah, so they've just been continuing with the winter work, so they do a lot of street signs this time of year when the weather's been really awful. We've seen an increase in public requests for work, so generally via email. There's been a few on Facebook as well. We did look back actually at previous years, and the trend is that it obviously, as you would expect, it dies off. The requests die off and then they sprout again in the spring, but also they've been an invaluable help with the office move. So they really have done an amazing job with that. And also the events, so they moved all of the Chinese zodiac animals once again, their favourite day of the year. So yeah, continue their work.
Thank you very much. I take it they're also busy prepping for Bloom this year.
Yeah, the
Guessing
preparations
how it
have
is
just begun. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's been conversations going on.
Fantastic. I think again, thanks to the Town Rangers team from ourselves for such a fantastic year they've had. And looking into this coming year, obviously multiple gold winners here, so fingers crossed. Any other comments or questions? No, it looked like you were hesitating for it.
No, I'm coughing.
No, thank you. 8.30165 gallery.
Yeah, so the Dead Good CIC had done the exhibition regarding conversations around death, and they did a lot of outreach work as well, so various activities. It's gone really well, so that they provided a report about their analysis of how it went. Then we've had an exhibition for Women's History Month, which will be coming to an end soon, and then we've got Raw are going to be doing an exhibition inspired by the one that they did a few years ago that was down Mill Street with various different artworks. So looking at more sort of, and she's Lucy, who curates the gallery, she's provided some examples of what we've got coming up, and there's some really interesting stuff. So
For me personally, I'm definitely looking forward to the Raw. I think I was away or I missed the photograph from 2020. No, that's this year. The one that they did on the streets. Having been part of the night shelter, listening to some of the stories that the members of Raw, or the people who were homeless, who then got into Raw, listening to those stories was quite heart-wrenching. So it's fantastic that the members of Raw have now found somewhere to get themselves back to fighting fit. So to see installation by them is looking forward to it. Councillor Lewis.
Yeah, it's the phone box is so eclectic, and it's again I've looked at phone boxes in different towns, which is I think you're travelling. This is over the years in St Helens and where else did I go? I thought Horse and that. Old Trafford one even. The one that's really stood out for me is the Dead Good one, the more portals, where I've spent some time reading it myself, and I've noticed people quietly reflecting on that, and I've thought, yeah, I know what you're doing and why you're doing it, and I think that's just a nice quiet opportunity for people to grieve in a different way, or to manage the grief in a different way. That was really good. I absolutely love the women's one, and incidentally it's International Women's Day on the 8th of March. Oxford is known as a women's town. Some great stuff going on at the Slug Museum as well. And I'm really looking forward to seeing the Raw, because for some reason I missed the one last time. So I'm looking forward to that. But it's so eclectic, and of course we've got dogs as well. I hail that. I suggest you have one for cats or something in the future. That's my pen as well. Oh, the other thing is, there's one here about a place in paper. I should declare that I'm a friend of Joe Bell as well, but so is half of Michael Smith. Hi Joe, you watching?
Any other comments or questions? No. Okay. 8.4. Shame to be talking the fact that it's now departed, but the Elm Trail.
Yes, so this is the report that's gone to Cheshire East, who were the funder. Well, they have they held the purse for the UK SPF funding. This is the report that we have to give back. So that's been well received, and you can see that we basically smashed all the targets we said we would do.
Only just.
Well, for instance, the number of people reached, we thought 5,000, and we reached 126,044. So yeah.
Just a couple of nothing.
Yeah, it went very well, to say, and you can see as well we worked very hard to get the businesses involved, so that, and I hate this term, but I like it as well, to get them to lean in to what was going on, and many of them did, and I think if they did, that they felt the benefit of that. And if I take it with the next report, which was a bit more of an analysis of the footfall, so we can see that, as I was saying before about the footfall, we can pretty much guarantee if we're going to put on an event or an event is sponsored, say Mac in May, Mac How by us, the footfall will go up, as it will on Treacle Market Day. But what we noticed this year was during December, well, for the first week, I think the first week we had Elmer, which was the end of November, the footfall that week went up 18%. Now, I can't categorically say it was because of Elmer, but there's a good chance it could have been, or having that trail. And that showed all across December that the peaks we expected on those days, but there was strong footfall throughout the whole month. Which leads us to suggest that it was because of that trail. So we are suggesting that we could do it again this Christmas. And the trail we want, which doesn't, I suppose, what a secret for everyone, but you have a picture of it here, and this is the one we want. Now, there was another one we wanted, but it's already gone. So these trails are quite, you know, especially ones around Christmas, they're going to be booked up early. So the proposal is, given that what we feel was very strong now, we know we got visitors coming from out of town just to see it. We know, for instance, that the library had got people in because we put it inside the library. People were going in to the library to get their badges to see the installation, and then the library were brilliant because they were signing them up. They were like, "What are you doing here? Let's get your library ticket," which is exactly what we wanted. The Silk Museum again, they had people come down. They were capitalising on this and they were getting them back. And actually, we'll see next week, but in full council, but the Silk Museum have had an uplift in tickets for other things. So we're all working together to, you know, we're very, very lucky in this town to have such a great library, to have such a great museum. Let's keep it by using it and seeing it. The cost is it cost is £32,500, and that is without VAT, unfortunately. We have a budget for special projects. We can afford this. We can also look to see if people want to sponsor, because we're going to have a sponsorship policy coming forward in the next couple of months. If we decide to do it, it will then have to go to full council, but it means we can book it. So it's for discussion really. You know, because it is expensive, but it was so good.
That's simple. Go for it.
Obviously, I mean, seeing the figures and in front of us, it's absolutely fantastic. The amount of businesses as well that were jumping on board, that had workshops, that had other things going on to support Elmer or Elmer theme was absolutely brilliant. As you said, the way that the town came together to pull off, I don't know, you know, it was the town council's event, but the businesses that came in to support the town council, to support the town, to support each other, it just goes to show, as you quite rightly said, how amazing we do on this town. Looking at the images in front of us, obviously I'm not going to say what they are, but I think it would be fantastic to have another trail, to hopefully have another fantastic Christmas this coming year. Thanks very much.
I know everyone knows that I've worked in primary school, I'm really a big kid, but I absolutely loved Elmer. Like you say, I loved the way everyone got involved, even in some of the groups that I had in the green corner were making their own Elmers, so it carried on outside. You've seen groups of children coming in to look at the Elmers, even my little sister, who's not so little now, come to have a look around. People come from other parts of the country to have a look. It's encouraged reading, business and just joy really, which is great for well-being. I can definitely guarantee the other parade, shall we say, will definitely bring in business. because I would actually, and I have travelled to see other parades as well, and I know other family members and friends would travel as well to see such things at Christmas. So yes, that's a yes for me, definitely.
Other? No. Just a massive thank you for I don't know, it's just yourself, Laura, that had the idea of the SPF and etc. But I don't know what else to say, but massive thank you.
You're welcome. The bid I wrote, but I have to say, Abby did all the legwork. Abby was the one doing it all. I just got the money. But I think I think it's been good. I think it puts us on the map a bit, especially with the football as well and all these things.
It gets something, gets people talking.
And you know, it might be why the football is booking the trend.
Yeah, brilliant.
I think it's pretty unique to have all those businesses taking part and doing that thing. I really do. There's other trails, you know, I've seen other trails and it's just a trail. People really took advantage of the fact that they could get involved.
So there is considering the proposal for this coming year.
Yes.
Okay. Councillor Barber Chadwick's just left the room now. We're going to
He's gone to get his bus.
Ah, fair enough. Laptop's gone. Okay, we'll carry on then. So, proposal is for same again this year.
Yes.
Is that based on images we have in front of us?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have a proposer? We have a joint proposal from the council.
If I don't propose this, my daughter will kill me.
So we've got a proposal from Councillor White and a second of Councillor Livingston.
And it's a surprise for my daughter.
All those in favour? Pretty much unanimous carried.
Councillor Bennett Week's daughter is the happy.
And I'm not telling you.
Just have to wait and
She'll have to wait till Christmas. It's a
exactly.
surprise.
Yes.
No idea what's coming.
Okay. Agenda item 9: town centre regeneration. Starting with 9.1: town centre free Wi-Fi.
Yeah, so Wi-Fi figures are on the report in front of you. They do continue to show a decline, however, they are very stable. So from September through to January, looking sort of around 10,000–11,000. And the same with the users, who are people who have browsed the internet. Those numbers again are remaining stable. So we continue to promote it. We know there have been a couple of issues with the connections recently, and we have spoken to the provider about that, and we are investigating it. So if people are having problems, just let us know, and we'll get that sorted as soon as we can.
Thank you very much. Any questions?
I have an awful feeling that the connection issues are related to
Yes.
Malcomfort
Yeah.
lanterns, i.e. the same issues that we have with the Christmas lights. But we can still get on it, it's just there's a few issues down Mill Street.
There we go. 9.2: town centre signage.
Yeah, as people will be aware, 2 of the museum on the street boards went up last year, and the feedback we actually had on those was really good, and you can often see people stopping and reading the boards and learning all those quirky facts. The other boards were postponed so that we could focus on Elmore and the Christmas events. We have got, so the boards are ready to go basically, and the company that are installing them are due to come out and see us this week or next week to get those in. So we're hoping, fingers crossed, we might have those in for Easter so that people can take advantage of Easter holidays and have a bit of a walk around town and follow that trail. So yeah, watch this space.
Does that include permissions from Cheshire East Highways, the ones that we needed?
We don't. There's only one that we need permission for, and that's from a private landlord.
Right.
So we're just trying to finalise that one. The rest of them are all good to go.
Fantastic. Looking forward to seeing the remaining boards going up. There's certainly some facts that I wasn't aware of about Macclesfield, so I'm certainly looking forward to learning a bit more. Any other comments or questions? No, thank you. 5.3 Town Centre Regeneration Working Group.
These are the results of all the consultations we did. If you want to, there was 3. There was a face-to-face one, residents online one, business online one. So they're all sort of the headlines from each one, which is quite interesting. But if Councillor Wilson, as the chair, wants to.
Yeah, I'm failing a bit, I'm very sorry to my voice go, but the events we've happened both in person and online and paper copies available, etc. We've been really very useful indeed, and the next stage now is for the town centre, which is a working group to get together to take this all forward and engage with other activities taking place. There are so many place-related activities now in Macclesfield, including the talent culture, the pulling together of the town centre regeneration working group, surveys and information, and just keep on moving forward, because I think this endorses. We've been talking about the AMA parade and artwork and things like that, but the feedback we're getting from residents is that they like what we're doing. Just keep on going more the same, which I think is, when you're putting so much time and effort into something, to have that endorsed by both residents and business views and also footfall figures, etc., is all very encouraging. Excuse me.
Thank you. Any comments or questions? No. Oh, sorry, Councillor Wilson.
As a hugely worthwhile exercise to seek views. I wouldn't have said the overall messages are that surprising. I think there's a bit of trying to work in partnership to get the cleanliness better, which is why we've been engineering to getting an additional member of staff to do that. I think promotion the town, talked about it today, I think that Elmer and Archer, all of these things promote the town.
Yes,
So I think all of the events promote what's going on. I don't need to maybe think about it. Promotion's already happening. Clearly, the idea of deliverable actions, I think we know that funding's going to be in short supply, but it's doing those things that you can do rather than the things that you can't. I think tidying up some of the empty shops, finding some money to do that would go a long way if we can find a mechanism.
Well, there is legislation coming through from the government about dealing with shops that are empty and become moribund and looking very run down, and I think we need to have a look at that more closely. It did come up in the discussions, but I think there is work to be done there in terms of how we can focus on landlords allowing properties to go to rack and ruin rather than developing them for the good of the town. And you know, people do criticise Macclesfield. It makes me very annoyed because it's all everywhere you look, there's new businesses coming in, there's new things happening. And at the end of the day, if I was a new business, I wouldn't be investing all my time and effort to bring something to a town I thought was going to fail. Business people don't do that, and they don't get the lending to do that. You know, it's all this moaning that we've just got to move away from and encourage people to keep on going. I mean, there's some brilliant additions to shops in town at the moment.
I think one of the things we learned as well was from our younger people is that they aren't coming to town to shop. They are coming to town to go to the library or to sit at the pocket park and look at the Ian Curtis thing, which goes to the escape room, or to eat, to have an experience.
Or the social aspect.
Yeah, and I think that it's interesting that this sounds like a song, doesn't it? But they're the future, and so devising a town centre that suits them is also very important, as well as a traditional town centre, which, you know, so it's been a very interesting set of results in the way that a lot of it's what we expected, but a lot of it actually just sort of reaffirms there's absolute differences in what people of different ages want.
I just wanted to, I think there's another couple, sorry I'm a bit tired and full of cold, but there's a couple of, there's some opportunities now for us to really look at as the town centre and regeneration working group. One is the fact that the Grosvenor Centre has just been sold. I'm not to speed with the outcome of that, but we do need to find out who the new owners are, and I think we should be talking to them with our Cheshire East colleagues through the town centre regeneration working group, because that is our place team, that is our team for these place activities, and it brings together Cheshire East Council, businesses, tourism, all the sort of things that you would want in one place. And with the Town of Culture bid, we're just going to be stronger and stronger with bringing together people who are doing great stuff. And then the other issue is that the Marks and Spencer building, and I don't say any more than that, the Marks and Spencer, not going to come back, but that is being auctioned on the 18th of March, so that will have a new owner. So I think that there's things happening that we need to, when we know the outcome of those things, we need to be straight in there and talking to people to see how we can help and support the continued regeneration of Macclesfield. Because it's the big shops and the bigger layouts that are ones that are more difficult to fill because they're costly and expensive. But I think we've got some good opportunities there.
Hopefully, positive outcome. See what happens. 9.4 is community transport. There is a proposal as well. So we've got the report. Proposals are the Town Council continues to deliver free to ride bus days for the same events. It's gone in 2025. Our officers actively explore sponsorship opportunities like Costa Coffee did for Second to Christmas last year. And to look at the structured sponsorship approach we've developed, offering local businesses viability with events, marketing and promotion materials.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Councillor Bannerley.
Yeah, I think it's right they explore the sponsorship. It was good that Costa, or the coffees are available, yes, being or wherever. They offer to do that because they do make a lot of money out of town centre events. So, other businesses like Greggs, other pastries are available. We make a lot of money out of town centre events. The shops that you see, or the eateries you see, queues outside, cough up, basically, And the other thing I would say that it'd be interesting, I don't know the figures here actually, or I don't know how you would explore that do people use the bus more because they've had a little go on the bus?
Yes.
And I do as well, and so does Stella. So we're just a couple of people in the room as sort of like, oh, I'll get the bus. So like, for example, on a Saturday, I might walk into town and then get the bus to the match because it's fun to ride around the bus. It takes you back to childhood where you got on the bus with your mum and dad and you went to town, and it's quite fun, exciting, or actually just a little bit tired and you didn't want to walk up the hill or down the hill likely. So it's just really helpful. It'd be great once we get devolution if we could get buses that run. We are seeing improvements to bus services, go all the way to the airport now. Maybe beyond that, I don't know, given the current situation worldwide, but I digress. I'm not very tired. So yeah, it's definitely a good thing. It's active travel. Even you can walk a little bit and get the bus and walk somewhere else. It's good for everyone. Leave the car at home. There's too many cars. Stop messing with the verges. So my latest bag of case.
Yes, I got the bus home from the Lunar Parade, having done my Tai Chi, which was supremely relaxing. I got the bus home and it was packed. And I had a good chat with all the people that live on my ward who are on the Moss Estate, and the driver was quite like saying it's free, and everyone was going, ooh, quite exciting. So I took it upon myself to explain why it was free and what we were doing and how it was the contribution it was making, and it was very well received indeed. And I think it's important that is the case because people that go and say it's not free really because someone's paying for it, get out of your cars and walk around a bit and start whinging about the price of gas.
Well, there's nothing
Because some
free,
people
really,
can't
is
afford
it?
to do that, you know.
Yeah.
It's free to ride.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Free to ride.
I completely agree with you, Abby, and you're right to make that point, but I get very frustrated, as I know Councillor Bennett Waite does as well, because at the end of the day, people that live on my ward, Maxfield South, are enjoying very, very obviously, the buses were full all day, because I was observing what's happening. There's a bus stop up the road from my house. People going into town, and they were enjoying going into town. Kids, bags of shopping, helping people on and off the bus. I even rode all the way round to go to my house rather than get off opposite my house, because I said to my husband, let's go and see what's going on.
There should be posters on the buses on the free bus days, loads of people, but we're very reliant on the bus company printing those out and putting them up, and it doesn't always happen. So.
Well, don't worry, Abby, because next time there's a bus day, she'll just ride round and round in circles telling people about it.
No,
the
if all councillors could do
Do the
this,
same, do the same.
Yeah, well, I mean, the posters go up in the co-op on London Road, and the feedback I get from young families on the Moss about the difference it makes to them about having a family day out is people need to understand that for my ward, which is in one of the top 10% deprived wards in the country, that makes a big difference.
I was written down the we'd spoken about advertising, and you brought it up, Abby answered the question. So D&G, this is now kind of up to you. If you can do a bit more advertising, would be fantastic. Just as well, I'd like to mention that obviously Councillor Bennett mentioned it was fantastic that Costa Coffee approached us for the sponsorship of the free bus day for 7th Christmas. If there are businesses out there, as has been mentioned, come and have a chat, approach us. There'd be, again, advertisement for yourselves on our social medias, and it's nice that people can come to us to say, can I do something to help out? I'll go to Councillor Livingston, right?
It's only a question about cost-stricken way.
I think it's a great initiative. I think it's creative as well. It's one of those things, you want to promote a place to live, and you promote it in these sort of things. And it does support communities where that actually makes an enormous difference. I clearly don't need to use it because I can actually walk. I would like to say I walked down here tonight. I wasn't home fast enough last night. Didn't go home from work quickly enough. So going on a bus is an adventure as well as anything else, and it's a social adventure as well. You will meet people at the bus stop you never spoken to before.
Yes, I normally walk, but I'm going the bus now because it's so much more fun than just walking along on your own. The reason I put my hand up was just to double check I've remembered correctly. I thought the Costa Coffee that did the sponsorship was the Costa Coffee that's on the business park.
It was head office.
It was head office.
It came as
Right.
a
So it was Costa Coffee.
It was Costa.
Yeah.
Yes. No
Yes.
specifics.
Oh well, there we go. All the businesses listening in. As far as Vince said.
And the thing, the policy will come to full council, because I think we've just got to be really careful, because they might, of who wants to sponsor what.
Absolutely.
You know, just making sure it aligns with what the town council stands for, and that, you know, and we also want to offer some of those smaller opportunities. So we're thinking of things like, you know, we have the Christmas tree and we have the boards around the Christmas tree, that somebody might want to sponsor a board at a much cheaper cost. So it's not just your Costas that get the opportunity. It could be your Yasbeeds and your smaller independent. So we're going to put a lot of work into this sponsorship policy.
Yeah, we will
Yeah.
have to be very careful.
Yeah.
As you would expect us to be.
Yeah.
Any sponsorship policy is going to have to reflect the values and the aims and strategy of the council.
Yes, absolutely.
I think Yasmin has sponsored tonight's meeting, haven't they?
Yeah, well, they will be doing every mention across the line.
Okay, there is a proposal, so I've laid out the proposal as it is. Do I have a
Yeah, I'll move that.
seconder? Say who's in the fan. Councillor Bennett, thank you very much. All those in favour?
Me and Councillor Bennett Waite need to declare an interest now.
We like riding the bus.
Racing around on the bus.
Thank you very much. Item 10, Council Identity and Communications.
I will whip through this, I know the time is getting on. as always, we continue to increase our followers on social media. It's quite a big jump actually this time around, so we're really pleased with that. And again, that's probably come from things like Elmer, where we've got that reach going out to however many thousands of people it was, and then they click through to us and see what's going on in town. So that's really good. The number of views in the last 28 days, as I say in the report, was a decrease, but to be expected because we're no longer sharing Elmer content. Still getting lots of visits to the page and interactions. Top content was, we reached 22,000, almost 23,000 people with regards to the Tourism Board unofficial meeting at the Bollington Brewery with regards to the bid for the UK Town of Culture, which was a very well attended meeting, but also really well accessed on social media. We had really good engagement with a post about increasing footfall for the Lantern Festival. Save the Date for 1261 that did really well as well with 14,000 views, and then obviously a post about the FA Cup third round today which did really well as well. The Mayor of Macclesfield Facebook post continues to grow. She's currently got 895 followers. With regards to our mailing list, subscription has increased. It was 160 at the time of writing. I checked before and it's about 174 I think now. It's automatically set to update people when we add a news item or events are updated on the website. But then we can also send out specific mailers as well. So earlier the year we sent out a specific newsletter that was the full list of free events. So if you are on our mailing list, there is no excuse for not knowing when the events are. And then newsletter about the precept. With regards to other marketing, we continue to not just use social media. So we aim to get into press, printed press. We aim to get onto the radio, all sorts of things. There's a little bit in the report about our agreement with Canalside Radio, the amount of sponsorship that we pay them, which covers Ofcom licences and things like that. We obviously explored, and this was also mentioned in the Elmer report, radio advertising for Elmer. We contracted with a Bauer Media which runs the advertising for, I can't remember, it's Hits Radio or something like that. And we also included mentions of shopping in Macclesfield and our other Christmas events, so it wasn't just specifically about Elmer. We also got articles in the MEN, in their print version and on the website, front page and ads inside Local People, which goes to approximately 18,000 homes. So we are utilising other ways of getting the information about our events and the things that we get in front of people. I did have a very interesting conversation at the volunteer fair about a lady who claims she's never seen anything about any of our events. And when we asked her where she goes to look for stuff, she's like, well, I don't. Okay. Doesn't read the Mac Express, doesn't go online on Nub News, doesn't go on Facebook. And it's like, okay, well, where do you want us to give you the information? She's like, well, I don't know. So you can't win them all, but we're trying our best to reach as many people as we possibly can. And we've got a few other things that we're thinking about where, again, we can try and access as many people and give them this information so there's no excuses. I think that's it.
Once again, thank you very much for all your hard work and dedication getting our events and other news items out to people. Obviously, it is working through footfall and likes and shares and other things on social media. Councillor Bennett Wake.
To be fair, we have got the tri-boards on the lampposts, and you do go out into the wards to put them up because I've seen them.
Yeah, we do.
And it's very much appreciated if you need any help there.
Thank you.
I think as well, the 2 new notice boards have made a difference because the whole of town can see those giant posters of what's coming up.
Is that the museum on the street?
Yeah, so on the back of them,
Yeah.
there's 2 huge posters, and I think I wouldn't underestimate how many people would see them and who wouldn't see things on Facebook and wouldn't listen to the radio, but might just go, you know, oh. But I think the remembrance, having that big remembrance poster was inspired by Rachel, because I think that just, there was a huge turnout, and I think some people just won't remember, and they'll see. So I think that's in addition to everything else, they've been great.
I also think that the way that they've been designed is fantastic, because you see information on one side and it's, well, what's on the other side?
Yeah.
And then there's no factual museum, but there are information of what's on and other events. And,
They could have just been static. They've been credit to our L&J Printing, who we asked to put the cupboards on the back, and he bought them and he actually renovated them to be exactly what we wanted. They're not off the shelf. So, you know, that's, yeah, I agree. Great. They're great.
Any other comments or questions? No. So that just leaves item 11, which is the date, time and place of the next meeting. So the date of the next Services Committee will be this 27th of April, 7 o'clock. It says at the Town Hall. I'm presuming it will be here at our new office.
Yes, it will be here. Now we've done it once.
Yeah,
we'll
no,
carry
I'd
on.
just like to say it's a fantastic office space. We're able to do more things, and
Yeah.
it feels like home. Mayor's Parlour is looking stunning. I have to say that as well.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in April.
Thank you.